Hello, I'm Daryl Urig, and I'm a conceptual oil painter. I'm living here. I moved here to Yuma, Arizona. I'm actually on tribal land, the Kokopah, and I moved here to expand my art, experience a little bit more of the West, and I think it has really helped in a lot of ways. I have some notes here I'll be looking to. I am a forever student of the arts. Something that I started with as a young boy, and I've just explored it all my life. It has taken me in many different avenues, and I actually really appreciate that. Um, what I'd like to do before I give my demonstration is just go over a few key points that I think are important. These are my opinions, maybe things that I've learned. And I want us to look at things that when we learn things, um, it's like eating an orange. If you eat an orange, peel off the skin, you throw away the peel, um, eat the fruit, spit out the seeds. And that's kind of my approach to learning too. You always have to take things that you're learning and decide how do you want those to fit with you. So uh, raise your hand if you want to learn something today. All right, I see you back there. All right, cool. Yep. All right. Well, that's great. Well, that's the idea. You got to be open to learn, and keeping an open idea is good. So, first thing I wanted to do is say, hey, what is realism? And so, basically, the dictionary says it's a way of portraying reality. And I think each one of us has to look at what does that mean to us, and it probably should mean a lot of different things. Um, be willing to grow. There's so many experiences that you can have in life and in art, and they all allow you to grow. Allow yourself to grow, and that's really important. No perfect studio, no perfect supplies. Once you get these, then you will be a magician. No, you are the tool. What? You are the tool. Yes, you have to sharpen the tool. You are the tool. So, um, you don't want to get caught up in being like everybody else. Actually, you want to be who you are. It bothers me when I see a show and it all lookalikes of this one look, and I think, oh my gosh, where has creativity gone? So you want to develop who you are, and the idea of art, in my mind, the legacy of art that was handed down to us is that we are always building upon the future generations that for the future generations and the generations that we have come after. They've left us all this information, and we can grow upon that information, keep building. And that's what art is. It's constantly, a little windy out here today, constantly building upon itself, moving forward in whatever direction that may take us. Um, and that goes for my students. They love this. I give them the permission to be creative. Yes, we want to be creative. We don't want to be stifled. So I give you permission right now to be creative. Hope that helps a lot of you. Uh, Finding Cezanne's Mountain. You haven't read up on Cezanne. He's the father of many aspects of art. But what you want to do about Cezanne is that Cezanne had a mountain, and he went to it every day and he explored it, and he kept digging at it and exploring it. And he found himself, and he found a lot of new expressions in art as well. So I think we should all try to find our mountain like Cezanne. Oh, yeah. My students say to me, well, they taught me this in art school, they taught me that in art school, and what am I supposed to do? I'm like, well, take it, throw it away, put it in your back pocket, be you. And you bring that stuff forward as you need it. But yeah, they're not set in stone directions for you. It's that back to that eating the orange. Just do that. Um, so this is one thing I've done through my career, and I hope you guys can find that too. If you have weaknesses, we will. I mean, we all have weaknesses. Study whatever your weakness is. If it's drawing, anatomy, any skill. There's books, the library's full of things, there's good teachers. Find your way, but you will need to do some study. Is drawing and painting the same? Well, you guys can answer that. I hope you can figure that one out. All right, they're not. Learn from everybody, everything you can, everything around you, every day. All these experiences, painting and non, they all add up to who you are. Don't force yourself to make money out of art. It'll come. Don't get into art because you want to be rich. Get into art because it's a passion. And that's what it's been for me. I hope it can be for you. It'll take you into so many aspects of life being an artist. Places you couldn't have got probably otherwise. So do that. No one answer. Yes, there's no one answer. And sometimes the same situation will actually give you conflicting answers at different times. So yes, there is no one answer. This is not a math problem. How I paint. Wow. Okay. Well, so every painting I paint, I try to approach it differently in some way. I don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I approach things differently every time. A lot of times I don't know where I'm going to end up. I have a kind of a pre-plan of what I want to do. But to get there, anything can happen. And I like to explore. So that's my way. Oh, the old masters. I don't think they were really that old when they were alive. They're old to us now, but I think they were young. And they would have loved all the supplies that you guys have available to you today. Oh my gosh, they would have been like creating genius stuff. So go forward, create, use all the new supplies. It's all there for you. Again, there's so many things. What you learn, you might have to unlearn. This is huge. I've spent a lot of time in my art career unlearning things. There's bad information out there, fake news, what you want to call it. It's out there. Healthy painting. Well, that's important to me. I want to paint with supplies that add to my health and my life, not detract from it. Deadly things that are even poisonous for you. I use a thinner, which is a citrus thinner. It's made from 98% orange peels. I'm not rotting my gut with mineral spirits and turpentines. You might not want to either. And I paint with walnut oil. They're just healthier. I've had some health things going on in my life. I don't want to add to it. So live long, be a great painter. And one more thing, kind of funny after that last thing I said. If you died tomorrow, what would you have wanted to paint? What would you have wanted to focus on? It was your last choice and you just had to do it. Focus on that. Focus on that. Do what's that burning desire and passion in your life. And it's only going to be great, if not really, really great. And as far as when do you start? No day like today. Begin today. I empower you. So I'm going to do a painting, a Western painting, and I try to get a lot of energy into it. And I wanted people to feel the energy and the motion. It's going to be a rodeo guy on horseback. And so we'll see where this ends up. All right. See you soon. When I start a painting, I don't always have exactly it all worked out. Might be more like a chess game. I can maybe figure out 7 or 8 moves I want to make. But after that, I have to figure out the next couple moves. And I'm not one of those geniuses that can figure out the whole chess game. I work on a palette that one artist called a surfboard. It's kind of long.
it's glass and has been painted black on the back. So this helps me to see the color. And then as you can see behind me is a panel I'm going to be painting on. And the panel, I put a rough drawing on it. I use just a regular cheap pencil from Home Depot and spray fix it. I just like to know where everything kind of fits. I don't want to get to the end of a painting and find out that, shoot, made a big design problem here. Or I don't want to be one of those guys that just say, hey, I'll just take it down on the table and saw it down a little bit, make it a little smaller, and then the problem is for the end person to pay for a really expensive frame. So those are some of my considerations. And then the yellow, I use an Indian yellow. I like that because I've experimented with a lot of different colors, and everything's an experiment to me. I'll talk about that in a minute. But I like the brightness because it gives me that bright color, and I can kind of punch a hole through it with a black. And I get to see a lot more color space. And so my painting is a lot about what happens here, but what you have to also understand is what's happening out here is really important too, because all these other things that I'm doing are really part of the painting, and you don't get to see all that. So maybe that's what we'll try to show a little bit of here today. And then as far as my color palette, I have a lot of colors that I like and I've worked with, and I really get to know my colors. You just keep using them and you expand, you keep adding colors, and then you take one away, and so I don't have one color palette. And in a painting, I might bring out certain colors and then halfway down the painting, bring out another tube of something totally different that I think the painting needs. I'm not any longer, I've tried it, limiting my color palette to a certain way to control everything. No. I use the color that paints the color that I need. And that seems to be the most important thing. If you get the right color, and you get the right value, it's going to work. Doesn't matter what tube it came from. So I just squirt tube paint out as I need it. I don't put all my paints out. It is kind of wasteful, but I don't think that's why I did it. I just evolved to this. I'm not sure why. Everything's evolving for me constantly. I really feel like I'm more of a scientist. Maybe Leonardo was a scientist too. He invented the first helicopter, some of his drawings. But I think there's that aspect to painting that we can explore it like a science. And so I was talking to one of my friends, and she said, well, I don't see you really as a scientist. She goes, I see you more like a magician. Because I think it's magic what you make happen. I'm like, wow, I like the way you think. So, well, we'll go with magic. Whoa, I guess that is magic. Where'd this come from? Hey, jumped ahead a little bit. So, started working on the painting, and just to show you, really what's important is the action and the movement and the gesture. And how do I get all this energy into it? So I want to show you some other things that I got going on here, and I'll do that right now.
Well, I'm taking a break right now, and I think that's really important in a painting. So I found that with myself, that what I try to do is paint while I have the energy and I'm making all good choices. When I get to the place that I'm just throwing down paint and not really thinking, then I know, whoa, you went too far. You should have stopped a while ago. So I will paint as long as as I'm making good decisions, and know when to stop, because you're really multitasking. And I had a person make fun of me one day for like, oh man, I painted today. I'm just exhausted. And they're like, oh, give me a break. But when you're painting, you're making so many choices and decisions all day long, and yeah, it could be tiring. So paint and get tired. So the image I'm working from is an image I shot at a Yuma rodeo, and I took it into Photoshop and photo edited out the background, adjusted the colors a little bit. I just didn't want all that busyness because I wanted everything just to focus on the rider, and then I'm going to figure out the background later. Have an idea, probably have a mountain in there, and I want to have this horse kind of floating up in the air. Definitely will be a shadow underneath it. About as much as I know right now. Um, I want the action to be um, very dramatic. And working with thin paint first, I'm using the natural thinner made from orange peels. And I have it in a squirt bottle so I can add it to my paint, or I sometimes put it in this dish to dip my brush in, add it to my paint. And keeping it thin like that is actually a different way for me to be working. Um, because I'm going to be working this very thin paint and then building up layers on top of it. And so this will change quite a bit as it goes on. Hello, boom! Hey, I wanted to talk to you about where this has moved to, really zoomed ahead. And I got a lot of paint down. There's a lot of places that I still need to work on. I need to bring the whole painting up. I've worked on the bronc rider that's become very important, and less the horse's face, and so I've kind of even pushed that away and scraped it a little bit with the painting knife, and I like to use this one. I've added the mountain. That's kind of what the mountains look like here in Arizona. They get in the shade and they get this deep purplish blue color. I'm planning on adding like a moon here because you can't see the moon during the day. And the Bronc riders are just really interesting because it's a whole culture, and their children, even at a young age, will get on a sheep or whatever, and maybe be tossed off. But it's the Bronc rider, the horse, the earth, and a really great skill. So it's really to be admired. And this is getting to be more abstract and might even get more abstract as I go forward. I'm not sure. I can work realistic. And this was another painting, my last painting actually, I just finished, which was here. Very, much more realism, but I still try to keep that painterly quality going. And I think that's interesting to me is when you develop paint, it's the layers that you have going on and what happens underneath and it comes through. So some of this will have turpentine washes, some will get a little thicker, some will get a little more impasto, some will have some more walnut oil, maybe a little glazing in it. The painting will help me determine where it takes me. And so that's where we're going. And this is fun. I mean, this is fun.
When you mix the color with the painting knife, you pretty much know what you're going to end up with. Put that color down, I'm trying to see if it's what I want.
All right, so I've worked on this painting for a little while with you. And as with any painting, you know, you stand back and you look at it and there's things that you like, that you want to improve, etc. I want to get some more grays into this side of the painting. So I'm going to change this mountain up, maybe add some brush over here. This color down here, I'm not happy with. This is going to change. I'm liking the energy that's starting to happen on the back side of the horse, which is helping it get its thrust. I still haven't worked on the horse head yet, and there's a lot more detailing pretty much everywhere. So, but to get that action and that feeling of action, you need to go at it kind of aggressively and be willing to come back and do some maintenance on it possibly. I feel that I really have accomplished something here today, and I kind of am happy about it for myself. I didn't really see it coming, but I think I kind of found my inner child on this painting. So thank you for being here with me and accomplishing this. So I'm going to work on this painting some more today, a little more video, and then also probably a couple more days. So I'll post the final piece at the end so you guys can all see it. Thanks for being on this journey with me. I appreciate you. Take care. So as you can see, sometimes a painting isn't done for a while. You think it's done and you look at it and you can come back to it and edit it, improve it. Those edits are really what make it into a solid painting. And I would challenge you not to just always think that a painting is finished when you ran out of steam maybe for it. But yeah, give it a second look. And one of the things about the painting knife that is so really awesome is that you can easily just take the paint and scrape it off and just build it right on top. And it's like you've never really uh, left the painting. And I think it improves the integrity of the paint the more you work into it with a painting knife, not a brush, but with a painting knife. You could really get the quality of the paint to be amazing. So I hope you enjoyed this.